All right, everybody. Good morning to you all. How are you doing? I'm hoping that you're feeling well and you're doing well. Listen, welcome to Family Morning Transformation, or yours truly, DMP Speaks. Thank you for we had some technical difficulties. I had to see what was going on, but I am here and I am live, and I'm hoping that you all are doing well. So let's not belabor the time, because I know you're already out or you're getting to go out right now. So I want to talk about really quick. Well, let me back up a little bit. If you don't know who I am, let me just introduce myself properly. My name is David M. Pinkston, but I go by the name of DMP Speaks. I am an empowerment speaker. I'm a board certified Christian counselor, but I'm also a family restoration specialist, which means I come to grow and rebuild your family dynamic and help you and give you some tools so your family can grow expeditiously. And that's what I come to do. I do these lives every day, Monday through Friday, and on Sunday at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and on Saturday it is 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So what I want to talk about very quickly, I want to talk about having communication, great communication with parents when it concerns their child or children. And I say this a lot, but it's true. If there is no good communication, the family can't flow. And if this is your first time hearing this, this is true. If there's not a good communication in the home, especially with the parents, no good communication about the child or children situations, there's no good flow in the household. When there's no good flow in the household, there is trouble. There's trouble. There is an imbalance. There's something that is just not going correctly. And you're trying to fix it. But if the communication, again, is not there, if it's not present, if it's not being worked on, if it's not being worked on together, especially again with the parents, this is what I'm talking about today, this morning, there's no flow. Parents have to be on one accord concerning their child. They have to be on one accord, because if they're not on one accord, not only will there not be a good flow, when the parents are separated in decision making, that brings confusion with the child. The child doesn't know if I should go with what mom is saying or what dad is saying. And there could be conflict, right? Why could there be conflict? I'm going to give you a few reasons why there could be conflict and why communication with parents is so vital. A lot of parents have different parenting styles. Let me repeat, different parents have different parenting styles. They might feel that a punishment of a whooping, not a beating, I won't say a beating, but a whooping is better than just a conversation. And a lot of this parenting style is based on how they were particularly raised, right? See, we have to understand, not only when you get married and you have children, and you have to know that person, that male, that female, that husband or that wife, in the context of who they are and their character and their family. You got to look at, when you have a child, their parenting style. You got to look at and pay attention to their parents or parent or grandmother, or whoever they stayed with, or guardian, and find out their parenting style, because you'll probably be blown away to find out that their parenting style is completely different than yours because of how they grew up. And that's a true thing, right? The difference in the parenting style. Another one is difference in beliefs. And what I mean by belief, some parents, some mothers might feel, and we already know mothers are nurturing, but they might feel, well, instead of them beating them or putting them in a corner for timeout, they might want to talk to them, right? They might have them right. I'm serious. There's so many different beliefs because sometimes whoopings were not done in people's houses. Conversations were done, or timeouts were done, or things were just taken, right? So it's difference in beliefs, and that can be conflict because if you are not so much just agreeing, but understanding the other parent's point of view, then that can bring conflict, right? One of the biggest things that parents have to do, they got to find commonality. And commonality, and what I mean is you got to find a common ground, a common understanding that even though your different parenting style or your beliefs on how we should handle children conflict or conversations about school or whatever the case might be, even though that parent has a different style, parenting style, or chastising the child, we got to find a common ground, a commonality. Because if you don't find common ground and you're doing one thing and the other parent is doing one thing, not only does it bring conflict with the child, it brings conflict in your relationship, in your marriage. You got to find a common ground that you're going to be able to make decisions together, not apart. Because that's where a strong family dynamic is born, and it's made. When you have common ground and how you do things. You got to have common ground on how you do things, because that's going to be the most effective way for your child or your children to grow, because they see that there's a united front, right? For instance, my mom, right, is from Carolina. My father is from Alabama. And they were 20 years apart. Yeah, my parents were 20 years apart. So my father grew up in the hard South. So there was, and not saying that my mother didn't get beat, but there was a lot of beatings, okay? There was a lot of things that they didn't get to do because of the time that he grew up in versus my mother. My mother, she didn't really get in a lot of trouble, right? She got in trouble because, of course, every child gets in trouble, but the parenting styles were completely different, right? Switches and belts and all that stuff were used. Versus when my mother, those things didn't happen. Hands got laid on suddenly. You understand what I mean? Or you're doing yard work or you're doing something else. So the family dynamic was different. So their parenting styles, my father, he believed in beatings. My mother beat me a couple times, but she believed in just taking things away because of their upbringing. And that is my point. Because your upbringing can be totally different from the other parent, that can be trouble. But that's something that you both have to talk about, parents. You got to be able to talk about what's going to work. Well, we could grab a little bit from you, and we can grab a little bit from your parenting style, how you grew up, when we can make our own. And that's my last point. You got to make it your own. You have to agree to it, and you got to be a team with it. Whatever the conflict is coming with your child, you bring your ideas together. Let me repeat. You understand what I mean? You bring your ideas together, not separately. Because when you bring your ideas together, it's only going to make your united front and your marriage and your parenting even more closer. Because you are bringing your ideas together, you're coming up what's going to be the best idea or best choice for that conflict with that child, whether it be school, whether it be bullying, whether it be the lack of studying or problems in the home. You have to be able to come to a common ground together. Even though you might have differences, different parenting styles, different beliefs on how to handle situations with your child or children, you have to come together to make those decisions. You have to bring in all the ideas that you have together to come and get a final decision and not be indecisive, right? Not be indecisive, but come up and have those talks. Sit down. I'm making this a point. That's why I'm trying to just say this as slowly as I can. Parents, you have to continue to talk. You got to continue to make the decisions together, because that's what's going to help your family grow. When you make decisions apart, you're going to argue. Sometimes you might yell, you might scream, you might get frustrated, and the decision on that issue or that situation is not being rectified because you two can't come to a common ground or a common decision for that child. And that's not how family should work. Family should be able to work together, especially parents. You got to work together. You got to put your differences aside and you got to work together, because that's what's going to give you an upper hand, right? It's going to give you an upper hand when you work together to make these decisions together. So remember, even though you got different parenting styles, even though you have different beliefs, and you have different ways of doing things, when it comes to your child, the most important thing that you husband, you wife, you mom, you dad, you have to make decisions together. And I'm going to say this and I'm going to let you go. Even if you're not living in the home with the other parent, you still got to make decisions together. Why am I saying this? We see that a lot of kids are either with their father at times or with the mother at times, preferably with the mom most of the times, and the father is not with the mother, but you two are still parents for that particular child or children. So you still have to find some common ground, even if you have to go to another room, even if mom got to step out of the house and you guys got to talk. You got to come to some common ground to show the child, even though me and your father are not together or me and your mother are not together, we love you enough and we want to help you in this situation here. We want to make a decision that's going to be best for you, because that's the power of the family dynamic. Even if you're not living in the home at that particular time with your child or children or your ex-wife or your ex-husband, or your child's or father's parent, you still got to make decisions, because that's where the effective communication comes in. So let me say this too. This is what we're going to be talking about for this week. And I have a wonderful, and I say wonderful, wonderful private Zoom registration only on this Thursday, March 16th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be talking about how to effectively communicate with your child. Today, we're talking about parenting. You don't want to miss this private Zoom only, this registration only private Zoom on March 16th at 8 p.m. You want to sign up today. You can go to my page. You will see the flyer for it. And please register. It's registration only. It's free of charge, but it is registration only. So do not miss this. Share this, and I'm going to be putting it up on my page again. So register today. And also, I have my podcast at 9 p.m. on Thursday with a brand new topic. And you also can catch me on Saturday for my radio show, which is Speak Out Loud on Fire 716 Radio. You can download the app even right now after I get done, but you can download the app and you can hear the message that I have on the radio show. So Speak Out Loud radio show on Fire 716. You can go to your Apple store or your Android and you can download it. And before I let you go, maybe parents, you need help in this area. You really need some direction. You need some coaching. Let me help you with this area. Maybe it's just you guys are not seeing eye to eye. Maybe, like I said, maybe the father's at the house, maybe the mother's at the house, and you're not seeing eye to eye, and you want to work on your communication together. I want you to go to my page, and I want you to click on the link, and I want you to sign up for your free 30-minute consultation call. Listen, sometimes we don't need to think about what we need to do. We just need to act on what we need to do, for not only for us, but for the betterment and the future of your family. I want you to sign up today. I believe in you. I believe that things will change. The only way that things can change is if you make a choice for your family's future. Listen, that's my time. Guys, thank you so much for being with me on this morning. I really, really appreciate it. And as always, and I say always, I want you all to have a wonderful and amazing morning. Peace.